necklaces. I don't need a gold necklace or an iron one neither. Took me several hundred years, they tell me, to get the chain off my neck that they put around there. That was made of iron. So you don't need to be out here killing each other. It's okay to have one. But I'm saying, all this snatching necklaces off each other's neck and running down the street, robbing each other of necklaces. You got a necklace on, I mean, you got to be fearsome about it. I mean, it might be best for us to just take them off, leave them in the dresser for a while, until we learn some sense. See? Because the necklaces are made out of gold. The gold is produced by a whole lot of hard-working black people in some mines in a place that we always say is our motherland. Okay? And they're working for the white supremacists. They get the gold out of the ground, make it into a necklace, and then they take it from, okay, you come over here, fella, give me the necklace that you got out of the ground from all this hard work at low wages that I'm paying you, and I will take it over across the water and put it around the neck of a black person. See? Symbolic chain. Used to be an iron chain, now it's a gold one. But it's going to have the same effect, because it's going to get him killed. See? Iron chain used to kill him. Now the gold chain is going to kill him, and who's going to kill him is some other person that looks exactly like him, is going to come down the street and spot it and shoot him between the eyes and snatch it and run. Because that's the value system that I have put into their minds. Just stop and think about it. See, so stop worshiping trinkets. That's what they got the red people on. Come here, Chief. Take a little sip of this. Now sit down here. Make yourself comfortable. Let me see if I can find me a quill somewhere. Now, okay, so the chief gets a little high on that rum, see, and then he gives the chief the quill and some papyrus, paper or whatever, and a piece of red cloth, maybe, and says, you see that over there? Sign here. I'll take Manhattan, the Bronx, and Staten Island, too. Period. Fine. That's how it's done. And the chief say, okay. Then later on he says, didn't you sign this? Now I'm just going by what I've been told. There was some kind of scenario like that went down. That's how they do the same thing with drugs. A lot of white people, of black people say, well, it's not a racist conspiracy. And white people will certainly say it. It's not a racist conspiracy, this drug thing. Because white people are on it too. Drug dealers will tell you, white people, I got a lot of white customers. But it doesn't affect black people the same as it affects white people. If you don't believe it, look at all this killing. And black people are already in terrible shape. See, the racists played the percentages, the white supremacists. Just like in any war, you figure so many casualties of your own troops when you go into a battle. You put a big chart up on the wall and say, now when we make this landing, we're going to send in the paratroopers first. And our calculations, according to our intelligence, is we're going to have at least 20% casualties. But by 0800 hours, we will have captured our objectives, every last one of them, with 20% casualties. And we have already written off 20% of our personnel. Now, General, do you have anything else to say? All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's go. Business people. Business people. That's the way they do it. And they do the same thing with the drugs. They did the same thing with the chief. The settler sat there and took a snort of the rum, too. But the chief wound up signing the paper and lost the land. See, they bait you in. It's not a new trick. It's an old trick. In order to convince you, if I'm a con artist, see, the chief weapon of a racist is deceit. But in order to deceive you, I have to do a little bit of what I'm trying to get you to do. Anybody that deals in money, in the card shark game and all like that knows that. What they call the pigeon drop, the bunco drop. you know, a male and a female working together maybe, and they find a wallet. See, they put up a little money up front. They show you something first. See, otherwise you ain't going to fall for it. They say, look, we found $2,000. Now, but to show your confidence now, Grandma, you go and draw some money out of the bank, I mean, you know, and we'll give you part of what we got here. And she winds up with an envelope full of paper. But it was money first. And they showed her real money. That's the come on. Everybody that, you know, that some people here involved in law enforcement or something like that might know, they call it the bunco. And it still works right today. They usually clean out old people with it. See, usually well-dressed, well-mannered people run the bunco squad game. Sometimes called the pigeon drop. Now, they do the victims of racism the same way with the drug thing. Now, how did they do it? In the late 1970s, cocaine was considered the gentleman's. Hollywood, see? New York, Madison Avenue, all this. Marseille, Paris. See, this is what the elite use. Those bums down there in the alley, they snort, you know, they use heroin. See, because they ain't got no sense. See? That was the propaganda that was put out. So black people always want to be sophisticated. So we are easy marks for almost anything that comes down the pipe. They say, well, yeah, you know, if I use heroin, I guess I'm a bum. Because sophisticated white folks with a whole lot of money and a whole lot of sense and a whole lot of power, they use cocaine. But cocaine, see, at that time was $300, $400. It was considered a very expensive drug. See, so once they put the idea out among black people, because black people always want the Cadillac and the Mercedes, the BMW, whatever's the most sophisticated thing out there, that's what we want, because we want people to respect us. See, so cocaine became the number one thing in our minds through the propaganda hype. Now the smart guys in the laboratories went to work. Say, now, we got their minds, they're thinking cocaine now? Okay, let's come up with a cheap version and shoot it out there right quick, and it'll be potent and something that they'll have to have all the time, see, so we can keep it rolling. We don't want nothing that's going to last too long, so it was crack. Now I understand it's ice. Next month, next year, 5 years from now, it'll be something else, because they on a roll. They got warehouses full of stuff you ain't never heard of before. See? You'll have to have it all the time. See, every second, if it gets that way, if they want to control you in that manner. See, they release this stuff as they see fit. Why? Because you got an ocean of young black people walking the streets after the 1960s, after the riots. See, who are strong and relatively intelligent, and ain't no old black people from the back of the bus, because they never had to sit on the back of the bus, and a lot of them have a little so-called education, can read and write, would be asking for jobs. And people, young hordes of black people, by the thousands and maybe millions, walking up and down city streets looking for jobs are dangerous. Who walk, you know, filling up employment offices like they were doing this a few years ago before the crack cocaine phenomenon. See? Say, man, you know, we're not asking for no handouts, we're asking for jobs. I want to do a decent day's work for a decent day's pay, and I want a full day's pay. No more of that, you know, back of the bus, down on the farm type pay. And I'm qualified to do something else, so I can learn to do something else. See, where are the programs and whatnot for me to learn to do something else? People like that are dangerous. The racists knew it. So they say, how do we cut it off and keep them on hold for a while? Give them a poison. And having them cut down their numbers by killing each other about the poison. That'll be our first move until we can figure out our second one.